Game number 72 is the Boston Celtics host the Indiana Pacers. Welcome into the Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone on CLNS Radio. I'm alongside Tom Lewis of SB Nation's Indy Cornrows. Great name for a Pacers blog. And I appreciate the time, Tom.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for having me on.
Tom, has this season been a disappointment for the Pacers? I mean, we knew the Warriors easily had the best offseason after snatching Kevin Durant away from the Thunder. But in my opinion, the Pacers were right behind them. They acquired Jeff Teague. They acquired Thaddeus Young, Al Jefferson. However, the Pacers find themselves in the middle of the Eastern Conference playoff picture at the 6th seed with a slightly above 500 record.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely been a disappointment overall. It is kind of amazing with all of the frustrations, even from the start of the season, it's kind of continuing all the way through. There really hasn't been a stretch where you thought they might be getting it together. They did have one pretty good winning streak, but they followed that up with a losing streak, and now they're really just going back and forth with wins and losses. And in some ways, it's amazing that they are in 6th place in the East, and it just makes that frustration even more, thinking, well, they could easily be up, above a 4 seed right now if they had, just played a little better and come together, and they just don't have the right mix of players. As much as they, kind of like each other, it's just a bad mix, and they're really struggling with the bench, and that's where the big frustration's been.
Is there any concern about Paul George? I mean, next summer we know he's going to be a free agent. Well, not this summer, but in 2018. Do you feel like there's any chance that Larry Bird and the organization would even consider trading him?
Well, my hope is this summer that in one way or the other it is resolved as far as, is Paul going to stay? And if not, they're going to have to move him before the NBA draft, and that's going to be rough. Obviously his peak value was at the trade deadline this year, really, because there are teams that had needs, and the Pacers weren't in a spot where they had to deal him yet. But the closer it comes to that decision for Paul, which it will ultimately be, the less value he's going to have on the market. And I'm sure, Bird's taking plenty of calls about it. But, my hope is some pretty good communication there with his people and Paul himself, so that they would have an idea of, if he's going to want to walk, if he can't get the Supermax deal, which it looks like he probably won't be able to. And they can work things out from there. But it's certainly frustrating to continually have it come up. It started at the beginning of the season, talk about, is he going to stay in 2 years? I mean, there is a whole another year. And, I know Paul is, pretty entrenched in the city, likes living here, and wants to do well for the Pacers. But obviously, you can't blame him. The team isn't going to spend to help them compete.
CLNS Radio Celtics pregame report is being powered by the SeatGeek ticketing app, the smartest and easiest way to buy and sell sports and concert tickets. Get a $20 rebate on your first purchase by downloading the free SeatGeek app to your phone. Go to the settings tab and click add a promo code and enter the code CELTSNEWS. That's CELTSNEWS, all one word, for a $20 rebate, and so SeatGeek knows who sent you. Tom, what do the Pacers need to do in order to beat the Celtics tonight?
Well, first of all, they need to figure out that the bench rotation's really been killing them. They've been recently playing, two big guys, Al Jefferson with the Boy Allen or Kevin Serafin or King Christmas, and that just doesn't work. And that's one issue. I think it's tighten up that rotation. They've been much better with just one of those big guys out there. But obviously with the Celtics, it comes down to keeping a handle on Isaiah Thomas. And one problem that even that starting unit has, which has been playing pretty well together, is a guard that can create like Thomas. Jeff Teague is easily shook on pick and roll situations, and they've been altering the defensive philosophy a little bit, doing a lot more switching, and we'll see if they can have some better impact against the Celtics. The last 2 games, they just struggled to slow them down, and that really is a part of the core of the frustration with this team is that they're kind of trying to play the same defense they have in the past few years, but now without George Hill, without Yama, they don't have the parts to do it, and so they're trying to figure things out. And I think offensively they've been pretty good, but slowing down Isaiah and that offense is going to be key.
Who do you think wins?
Well, the way the Pacers have been playing on the road, as optimistic as I could possibly be about the Pacers, I couldn't pick them to win this game. For some reason, they have really struggled on the road. It has been alternating between wins and losses the last 14 games, playing great at home, horrible on the road. And until I see something else, especially against a team that's already beat them twice this year, I'd say the Celtics definitely have the advantage.
All right, well, his name is Tom Lewis. He writes for the SB Nation's Indie Cornrows. You can check out his work at their website, of course, and on Twitter at Indie Cornrows. Tom, I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Anytime. Thanks for that.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Special thanks to Tom for joining me and for everyone who tuned into yet another pregame report. Be sure to check out the Guard Report after the game on CLNS Radio's YouTube channel at youtube.com/CLNS Radio for all the raw and uncut videos from the locker room and press table after the game. Tonight's postgame show will air immediately following tonight's game on clnsradio.com. Call in toll-free at 347-215-7771 after the game to get on the airwaves, or just like this show, you can listen to it on demand anytime, any place, anywhere on the CLNS Radio mobile app. We'll see everyone back here on Friday as the Celtics will continue their homestand against the Phoenix Suns. Weekday shows air on the Celtics Newsfeed channel on iTunes, Stitcher, and the CLNS Radio mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Joseph Pavone, this is Joseph Pavone signing off.